The Voss Dynamics boardroom on the 42nd floor of a San Francisco skyscraper shimmered under fog-draped sky, its floor-to-ceiling windows framing the city's misty glow. Holographic screens hummed, casting blue light across sleek glass tables, cluttered with tablets and coffee cups. Sofia Patel, a 29-year-old junior coder, stood at the room's center, her faded navy hoodie a stark contrast to the polished suits around her. Her brown eyes framed by faint shadows of sleepless nights, fixed on a buggy algorithm projected in a chaotic swirl of code. Dr. Elena Voss, the 38-year-old CEO, leaned back in her leather chair, her silver-streaked bob catching the light, her charcoal suit as sharp as her tone. "Decode this algorithm, Ms. Patel," she said, voice slicing through the room, "and I'll hand you a corner office right here in front of this entire team." Laughter rippled among the coders, some nervous, others mocking. A live stream icon blinked on the main projector, broadcasting to every employee, from Silicon Valley interns to Berlin investors. Sofia's fingers tightened around her worn notebook, its pages filled with hand-drawn flowcharts and starry doodles from her 6-year-old daughter, Arya. Her heart pounded, not from the challenge, but from the weight of the eyes on her judging. Doubting, she was a single mother, scraping by since her husband's death 2 years ago in a car accident. Her coding job at Voss Dynamics barely covered rent, let alone Arya's daycare, which had fallen through tonight, forcing Sofia to bring her daughter to work. In the break room beyond a frosted glass partition, Arya sat cross-legged on a couch, her braided pigtails swaying as she read The Little Prince under a blanket, her sneakers dangling above the floor. "Mom," she'd whisper before Sofia entered the boardroom, "the prince says you see with your heart. Is that how you fix code?" Sofia had kissed her forehead, smiling despite the ache in her chest. "Sometimes, sweetheart. Stay quiet." Okay, the algorithm, a neural network for Voss's flagship assistant, had crashed during a critical demo, endangering a $20 million contract with a German tech conglomerate. For weeks, senior engineers had failed to stabilize it, their diagnostics yielding only errors and excuses. Dr. Maya Chen, the R&D lead with warm eyes and a knack for spotting talent, had suggested Sofia during a tense meeting. "She codes like she's listening to music," Maya had said, her voice steady. Elena had scoffed, her ice blue eyes narrowing. "She's a junior coder, Maya, not Beethoven. This is a multi-million-dollar project, not a hackathon." But desperation had won out. And now Sofia faced the room, her calloused fingers worn from late nights typing and soothing Arya to sleep hovering over the keyboard. Elena's challenge was more than a dare. It was a test born of her own buried pain. Orphaned young, her mother lost to illness, and her father to ambition, Elena had built Voss Dynamics to prove her worth. Her empire a shield against vulnerability. Yet, Sofia saw a flicker in her gaze, a shadow of doubt, a crack in the CEO's polished armor. The room buzzed with tension, coders whispering, tablets glowing with error logs. Sofia opened her notebook, revealing Arya's doodle of a starry network linking 3 figures. "It's not just the code," she said, her voice soft but unwavering. "It's the rhythm. The neural net's layers are out of sync, like a song with a skipped beat." Snickers faded. Maya leaned forward. Intrigued, Elena's brow arched, her fingers steepled. "We've run diagnostics worth millions, Ms. Patel. Spare me the poultry." Sofia's hands moved, recalling her father's piano lessons in their cramped Mumbai flat, his calloused hands guiding hers over the keys, teaching her to hear the music beneath the notes. She traced the algorithm, spotting a misaligned weight matrix that threw the system off balance. The room washed, the live stream amplifying every keystroke. Arya peeked through the glass, clutching her book, whispering, "Mom's fixing the stars." Sofia's fingers danced, adjusting parameters with a precision that felt like tuning a melody. The screen flickered, data aligned, errors cleared. The AI's voice hummed, a clear, resonant note. "System online." Gasps erupted. Elena's lips parted, her icy facade melting. Sofia stepped back, heart racing, and met Elena's gaze not as a CEO, but as a woman who, like her, knew loss. The room felt smaller, the invisible bonds of shared struggle beginning to form. The Voss Dynamics boardroom pulsed with the hum of holographic screens, their blue glow cutting through the San Francisco fog pressing against the 42nd floor windows. Sofia Patel stood before a chaotic algorithm projected in a swirling matrix of code, her faded navy hoodie dwarfed by the sleek glass table littered with tablets and coffee cups gone cold. Her brown eyes, shadowed by sleepless nights, traced the neural net's tangled lines, her calloused fingers gripping a worn notebook filled with flowcharts, and her daughter Arya's starry doodles. The room crackled with tension, coders whispering, live stream cameras blinking, broadcasting every move to employees from Silicon Valley to Berlin. Dr. Elena Voss, the 38-year-old CEO, sat rigid, her silver-streaked bob catching the light, her charcoal suit a shield of authority. Her ice-blue eyes narrowed, her voice still echoing, "Decode this, Ms. Patel, and I'll give you a corner office." The mocking laughter had faded, replaced by a wary silence as Sofia spoke. Her voice soft but steady, "It's not the code, it's the rhythm. The neural net's layers are out of sync, like a song skipping a beat." In the break room, separated by frosted glass, 6-year-old Arya sat curled under a blanket, her braided pigtails swaying as she read The Little Prince. By flashlight, her sneakers dangled, too short to touch the floor, her brown eyes wide with wonder. "Mom's fixing the stars," she whispered to herself, clutching the book's worn pages. Sofia had brought her to work after daycare fell through, her single mother. Budget stretched thin since her husband's death in a car accident 2 years prior. The memory of his laughter still stung, but Arya's starry optimism kept Sofia grounded. "The prince as you see with your heart," Arya had said earlier, her voice small but certain. Sofia had nodded, hiding her fear of failing not just the code, but her daughter. The algorithm, the backbone of Voss's AI assistant, had crashed spectacularly during a demo, endangering a $20 million contract with a German tech firm. Senior engineers, with their Ivy League degrees and six-figure salaries, had stumbled for weeks, their diagnostics spitting out errors like a broken record. Dr. Maya Chen, the R&D lead with warm eyes and a knack for spotting talent, had championed Sofia. Her voice steady. "She codes like she's listening to music," Maya had told Elena during a heated meeting. Elena had scoffed. "She's a junior coder, not Beethoven." But desperation had forced her hand. And now Sofia stood under the boardroom's scrutiny, her heart pounding as she faced the code's chaos. Elena's challenge was a gauntlet born of her own scars. Orphaned at 15, her mother lost to cancer, her father to ambition. Elena had built Voss Dynamics to prove she was enough. Her empire was her armor. But Sofia saw a flicker of doubt in her gaze, a woman exhausted by carrying power alone. The coder's smirks faded as Sofia's fingers hovered over the keyboard, her mind drifting to her father's piano lessons in their Mumbai flat. His callous hands had guided hers, teaching her to hear the melody beneath the keys. "Code breathes," Sofia said, her voice cutting through the hum. "You overload it, it chokes." She traced a misaligned weight matrix, its parameters throwing the neural net off balance like a dissonant chord. Maya leaned forward, intrigued. A senior coder muttered, "Nonsense." But Sofia's hands moved with a pianist's grace, adjusting the matrix's weights. The room held its breath, the live stream amplifying each keystroke. Through the glass, Arya peeked, her flashlight casting starry shadows. "Mom's taming the code," she whispered, her faith unwavering. Sofia's adjustments since the layers, and the screen flickered, data aligned, errors vanished. The AI's voice hummed, a clear, resonant note. "System online, processing, optimal." Gasps erupted, tablets clattering as coders checked their screens. Elena's lips parted, her icy facade cracking like glass under pressure. Sofia stepped back, her heart racing, and met Elena's gaze not as a CEO, but as a woman who knew loss. "My daughter says code connects us," Like constellations, Sofia said, handing Elena Arya's doodle of a starry network linking three figures. Elena clutched it, her fingers trembling, her eyes softening with a warmth she hadn't felt in years. The room felt smaller, the invisible bonds of shared struggle beginning to weave their magic. The Voss Dynamics break room was a quiet refuge from the 42nd floor boardroom sun, its frosted glass walls dimming the San Francisco fog's gray glow. Sofia Patel sat at a small table, her faded navy hoodie loose on her slender frame, her brown eyes scanning server logs on a borrowed tablet, her calloused fingers, worn from late-night coding and soothing her daughter Arya to sleep, trembled slightly as she uncovered a chilling truth. A hidden log revealed deliberate sabotage in the eye's knee. Neural network. Someone, a senior engineer, judging by the access level, had tampered with the weight matrix she'd fixed hours ago. Her heart sank, not from fear of blame, but from the weight of protecting Arya, who sat nearby, curled under a blanket. Arya, 6, with braided pigtails and sneakers dangling above the floor, clutched the little prince, her brown eyes tracing starry illustrations. "Mom," she whispered, "is the code sick?" "The prince says you tame what you love." Sofia forced a smile, her voice soft. "It's just lost its rhythm, sweetheart. I'll help it find it again." The break room smelled of stale coffee and Arya's crayon wax, a stark contrast to the boardroom's sterile sheen of glass and holographic screens. Sofia had brought Arya to work after daycare fell through, her single mother budget stretched thin since her husband's death in a car accident 2 years ago. The grief still lingered, a quiet ache, but Arya's starry optimism kept her anchored. Earlier, Sofia's breakthrough had stunned the room, her intuitive fix sensing the eyes, layers, making it hum like a perfectly tuned melody. The live stream had captured every keystroke, earning gasps from coders and a softened glance from Dr. Elena Voss, the 38-year-old CEO. But now the sabotage log cast a shadow, threatening the $20 million contract and Sofia's fragile hope of stability. For Arya, Elena entered, her silver-streaked bob slightly frayed, her charcoal suit rumpled from a sleepless night. Her ice-blue eyes, usually sharp as code, were clouded with exhaustion. She'd built Voss Dynamics from nothing, her empire a shield against the pain of losing her mother to illness and her father to ambition. Yet, Sofia's quiet strength had cracked her armor, stirring memories of her own mother's warmth. "Why didn't you report the sabotage?" Elena asked, her voice low, almost breaking. Sofia met her gaze, steady despite her racing heart. "Fixing's better than fighting. If I accuse, it's a war. If I repair, it's a chance." Elena's fingers tightened around Arya's starry doodle from earlier, network linking three figures. "You sound like my mother," she murmured, always choosing the harder path. Sofia pushed the tablet toward Elena, revealing the tampered logs. "Someone wants the AI to fail. I've rebalanced the matrix, but we need to trace the excess." Elena's jaw clenched, her CEO facade slipping to reveal a woman haunted by betrayal. "I trusted my teen," she said, voice raw. Sofia hesitated, then spoke softly. "I trusted my husband to come home." "Loss teaches you to rebuild anyway." The words hung heavy, a bridge between their shared scars. Arya shuffled over, her sneakers scuffing the floor, and handed Elena a new drawing, three figures under a constellation, labeled heart stars. "Don't forget the heart," Arya said, her voice earnest. Elena's eyes glistened, her fingers brushing the paper as if it held a lost memory. Over coffee in the break room's dim light, Elena confessed her loneliness, nights spent coding alone, her empire a hollow victory without family. Sofia shared her own grief, the nights spent whispering to Arya about stars to drown out the silence. The fog outside thickened, but the room felt warmer, their bond growing like a delicate algorithm finding its rhythm. Sofia glanced at Arya, now sketching a new star, and whispered, "The prince says we tame each other. Maybe that's what we're doing." Elena nodded, clutching the drawing, her voice barely audible. "Maybe we are." The sabotage loomed, but in that moment, the invisible bonds of trust began to weave a constellation stronger than any code. The Voss Dynamics boardroom crackled with tension, its holographic screens flickering under the San Francisco fog that cloaked the 42nd floor windows. Dr. Elena Voss stood at the head of the glass table, her silver streak bob loose, her charcoal suit creased from a sleepless night. Her ice-blue eyes, sharp yet weary, scanned the coders, investors, and executives seated before her. In her hand, she clutched Arya's starry doodle, a network of 3 figures under constellation. A reminder of trust over titles. Sofia Patel fixed Arya eye. Elena declared, her voice cutting through the hum of tablets, and whispered doubts. But someone sabotaged it. The room froze, the live stream icon blinking, broadcasting to every employee from Silicon Valley to Berlin. Sofia, in her faded navy hoodie, stood by the breakroom door, her brown eyes steady despite the knot in her chest. Beside her, 6-year-old Arya, with braided pigtails and sneakers, clutched the little prince, her brown eyes wide with innocent faith. Sofia's heart pounded, not from fear, but from the weight of protecting Arya and the fragile hope of stability. 2 years after her husband's death in a car accident, her junior coder's salary barely covered their San Francisco rent. The sabotage sheet uncovered a senior engineer's tampering with the neural network's weight. Matrix threatened the $20 million contract and her chance at a better life. She'd fixed it quietly, whispering to the code as if taming a frightened fox. But now the truth demanded a voice. Dr. Maya Chan, the R&D lead, stepped forward, her warm eyes resolute. She projected the tampered log on the main screen, its timestamps glaring like evidence of betrayal. This was deliberate, Maya said, her voice calm but firm. A senior coder, his face flushed, stood abruptly and stormed out, his chair scraping the floor. The room buzzed, coders exchanging uneasy glances. Elena's jaw tightened, her CEO facade cracking to reveal a woman scarred by loss, her mother to illness, her father to ambition. Sofia's resilience had stirred something in her, a memory of her mother's belief in building up rather than tearing down. We thrive on trust, not titles, Elena said, her voice rising. Sofia saw the code's rhythm when no one else did. She deserves our respect, not sabotage. The board murmured, some nodding, others skeptical. An investor, his German accent clipped, demanded, "Can you prove the fix holds?" Sofia stepped forward, her voice soft but unwavering. The eyes stable. I've rebalanced the matrix, and it's humming again. She glanced at Arya, who whispered, maintained the code, like the fox. Elena knelt beside Arya, her eyes softening. You're right, little one, your mom's a star tamer. The board voted, the live stream capturing every tense moment. The contract was secured. The saboteur's access revoked, Elena announced. A review of team dynamics, vowing transparency. The room erupted in cautious applause, the fog outside thinning as if mirroring the clarity within. Later, at a diner down the street, Sofia, Arya, and Elena shared pancakes under neon lights. The cities hum a distant lullaby. Sofia spoke of her husband's laughter, Elena of her mother's coding lessons in a cramped apartment. Their shared grief wove a bond, stronger than any algorithm. Arya, syrup on her chin, handed Elena a new drawing, 3 figures under a heart-shaped constellation. The stars keep us together, she said. Elena laughed, squeezing Sofia's hand, her voice warm. They do, Arya. The sabotage faded, replaced by trust. As they left, the city's lights twinkled like stars, their constellation forged in code, and courage shining brighter than the fog. Voss Dynamics glowed under a rare clear San Francisco sky, its 42nd floor windows reflecting the city's twinkling lights like a canvas of stars. The boardroom, once a battleground of holographic screens and tense whispers, now buzzed with quiet celebration. Sofia Patel, no longer in her faded navy hoodie but a tailored blazer, stood at a whiteboard, mentoring junior coders on neural network rhythms, her brown eyes, once shadowed by grief, sparkled with purpose. The sabotage that had threatened the ICE $20 million contract was a distant memory. The senior engineer responsible quietly dismissed after logs exposed his tampering. Sofia's fix had secured the deal and Voss's stock soared, but her true victory was the stability it brought her 6-year-old daughter, Arya, in the break room. Arya, her braided pigtails bouncing, worked on a STEM project, her sneakers scuffing the floor as she sketched a starry circuit board inspired by the Little Prince. "Mom," she'd said earlier, "the prince says stars laugh. Is that why your code sings now?" Sofia had laughed, kissing her forehead. "It sings because you believe in it, sweetheart." Dr. Elena Voss, 38, stood by the window, her silver-streaked bob loose, her charcoal suit replaced by a simple blouse and jeans. Her ice-blue eyes, once sharp with authority, softened as she watched Arya pin a new drawing, a heart-shaped constellation, to the breakroom wall. Elena had launched the Arya's Future Fund, a coding scholarship for employees' children, inspired by Arya's wisdom. "The stars connect us." The fund was her apology for the boardroom dare that had mocked Sofia, a dare born of her own pain, losing her mother to illness, her father to ambition. Sofia's resilience and Arya's starry faith had cracked her armor, revealing a woman yearning for connection. The office, once sterile, now felt alive with pinned sketches and laughter, a testament to their shared journey. On Sunday evenings, Sofia, Arya, and Elena stargazed in Golden Gate Park, the city's fog giving way to a velvet sky. They lay on a blanket, Arya pointing out constellations with her flashlight, her voice bright. "That's the fox star," she said, tracing a pattern. "It's stained like Mom's code." Sofia smiled, her hand brushing Elena's. Their grief, Sofia's for her husband, Elena's for her parents, had woven a bond stronger than any algorithm. Elena, once isolated by her empire, now felt part of something real. "Are you marrying Ms. Elena?" Arya teased, her eyes mischievous. Sofia blushed, her heart skipping. Elena laughed, squeezing Sofia's hand, her voice warm. "We're building a constellation, Arya. That's better than any ring." Arya giggled, sketching a new star in her notebook, labeled family. Back at Voss, the boardroom's holographic screens now displayed Arya's drawings alongside code metrics, a symbol of trust over titles. Elena addressed the team, her voice steady but vulnerable. "Sofia taught us to listen to the code's rhythm, and Arya reminded us to see with our hearts. This company isn't just about profit, it's about people." The coders applauded, their skepticism replaced by respect. Sofia, now a lead coder, mentored with quiet confidence, her father's piano lessons echoing in her approach. "Code breathes when you hear its melody." Arya thrived at STEM camp, her starry circuits winning a local contest, her dreams as boundless as the sky. As they left the park one night, the city's lights twinkled like a constellation, their glow mirroring the trio's bond. Arya ran ahead, her flashlight dancing, shouting, "The stars keep us together." Sofia and Elena walked hand in hand, their laughter mingling with the breeze. Elena paused, her eyes glistening. "I used to think power was control," said softly. "You and Arya showed me its connection." Sofia nodded, her voice a whisper. "The prince says we tame each other. That's our rhythm." Arya's latest drawing, a heart-shaped constellation of 3 figures, hung in the boardroom, its bold lines a reminder that love's code, once debugged, runs forever under the San Francisco sky. Their family, forged in trust and courage, shone brighter than any star.